Hi web devs, today I want to introduce you to my favorite web application tool, which is a Yana framework. You can use it to create your own web apps. So I just installed a plain vanilla Yana installation. Let's open it up in NetBeans and have a look at it. Right here, you see that in the Yana directory there are several folders, one of which is common files. This is where icons and logos and so on go. Here in the config directory, your configuration files are stored. There's an includes directory where all framework files are situated. We got a languages directory where your translation files go. We got a plugins directory. Here your applications are stored. We got a skins directory. This is where your templates go. And we got 3 files. So the index and library files are basically for loading your application. And you got a command line interface file that you can use to implement cron jobs and call the framework from your command line. There are also a number of test suites and PHP unit files you may find here. So I open up my browser and start by logging into the application. Login, it is administrator, password may be empty unless you set one during the installation. I already installed the software development kit for Yana, which we will need now. Open it up and we will create a simple hello world application. To do so, I select a name, in this case hello. I select an image. I can drop the description for now. Now I will add an action that we will be able to call. I'll name it hello. Click add. Here it goes. Click complete and click save. Now one thing you want to check before we continue is to open up your index.php file, scroll down and make sure that error reporting is not set to off. There are 2 more options you can put in at this point. One is off, which means that errors are not reported, and the other one is log, which causes any error messages to be put into a log file instead of printing them to the screen. For debugging purposes, you should always keep this to on. Next thing we need to do is to activate our plugin. To do so, we go to the administration panel, scroll down and click here for our hello plugin. Click save to activate it. And the message comes up telling us that everything is okay. So let's take a look at what happened. We'll go to directory plugins, open it up, and you will see that here is a new directory named hello. You open it, you see that there's a languages directory that stores the translations for your plugin, a templates directory where your templates go, and a hello.plugin.php. You open it up and scroll down and you see that there's a function named hello. So to make this function print hello world, all I have to do is add print hello world. So One thing that's making Yana very different is that this framework doesn't enforce a certain style of programming. It doesn't force you to use Model View Controller. So basically you can go on programming just like you did before, and everything here is pretty straightforward. You may or may not use a template engine. You may or may not use XLIF translation that comes with Yana. You may or may not use the built-in user authentication. That said, Yana is really pretty easy to learn. If you want to interact with the framework, all you have to do is call Yana get instance, which will return an instance of the current application. And this will allow you access to almost anything you can do with this framework. Now there are not many methods you need to remember. Basically it's only 3, one of which is getVar and the other is setVar. These both are required to store an variable to your current template files. So if you set foo to value 3, you may access this information from inside your templates. And the third method you may need to remember is call action. You use this by providing the name of the function you want to call, say foo, and you will provide a list of arguments, maybe request array, and it will tell you if your call has been successful or not. And it will give you the return value if there was one. Now if your program runs into an error condition and you want to return an error message, it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is throw an exception. In this case, we will use an invalid value warning. And the Yana framework will take care that this exception is translated into a text message and outputted to the browser. You may already have recognized that there are some annotations at the top. You got several of those, one of which is menu. Menu allows you to put up a menu entry wherever you want. So you just type in menu group start, and this will add an entry to the start menu. You may also add a title. You may add user groups, user roles, and user levels that the user must have to be able to access this function. You may perhaps use group admin or use a role named moderator. Next thing you will want to use is the template annotation. Let's put an URL here. Let's create it. And we will put in hello world. And it will be used in our browser. So there are a few other annotations you may want to use. One of which is style. You can use it just like you use template to add your own CSS file. Another one is language. You may use this to load one of these language files, like this. Now there are some more, but this should be enough for a start. Let's finish our tutorial by demonstrating the use of a parameter. I will add a parameter. at this point. And we'll add an annotation for this as well. I will get a Yana instance and call setVar to pass our parameter to our template file. Next, I'll open our template and use our parameter here. Whenever we change our plugin, we need to tell Yana that our plugin has changed and you need to update the current configuration. This is by clicking Reload Plugin List in the administration panel. Next, I'll give the browser a reload. You see that there's a Hello World application now available in our sitemap. Click it and it tells me that there is a missing parameter. Let's add it to our URL. So here we go. I'll hit enter. And here's our Hello World application. So as you might have seen, Yana is a cool tool that is really easy to learn. However, you ain't seen nothing yet, so stay tuned for our next tutorial.